Talking about passage 1, question 41st, it is talking about the reasons. The passage has first started with the reasons fueled by rising wages, property prices, and food prices. Inflation in India is an increasing problem. So inflation is what they're discussing about. So these were the first line was all about the causes of inflation. And they've also talked about the inflation has been a problem despite periods of economic slowdown, and it has reached to certain level. The next line is an important line which says the supply constraints in agriculture have caused a rise in food prices. So supply constraints, there are certain supply constraints, that means a supply constraint in agriculture have caused a rise in food prices. This causes inflation and is also a major factor in reducing living standards of the poor who are sensitive to food prices. This suggests that inflation is not just due to excess demand but because of the other factor as well being mentioned, which is supply constraint in agriculture. Alright, let's see for the question. Question says most logical, rational, and crucial message. What is being given in the passage? Inflation is the root cause of India's economic root cause. Now, whenever we talk about such kind of an answer, as we have already discussed, anything which is a root cause, which is always a solid answer, very solid answer, should not be taken, and one should be very wary before taking such answers. So A is not an answer. Let us check B ball. B says excess demand, supply constant, and economic slowdown are measures of inflation. These by the passage mentions excess demand, supply constant, economic slowdown in a different context. It did not talk about as a measure of inflation. India is performing poorly in all of them. No way mentioned. We'll rule that out. C. There is no immediate plan to address a supply constraint in agriculture that are causing inflation and also harming the lives of poor people of India. As we can see from the second last and last line, supply constraint in agriculture have caused a rise in this. This causes inflation as is also a major reason. This suggests that inflation is not just due to excess demand but because of this. Hence, we can safely say there are no immediate plans to address supply constraints. C should be a better answer. Let us also check D. The way in which the Indian economy is structured makes it vulnerable to inflation and its negative effects. Now this is talking about going beyond the passage. I cannot take this. Hence answer for question 41st is C.